for those that don't know you, who are you? What do you do?
My name is Jen Dalton. I currently am a dance business coach, and I work with dance studio owners who want to simplify and scale their studios for growth, impact, and profit.
That was very precise. I
Thank
love
you.
that. You were like,
I've
I
been
know
working on it.
exactly what I do, and I'm going to tell you. But you got to have that, precise when you're especially looking for clients.
It's a clarity, right? And I preach clarity. I
Yes.
preach talking about knowing who you are and the direction you're going. So if I'm preaching it, I should be doing it as well.
Okay, cool. So you used to have a studio
I did.
of over 1,000 kids. Like, that's insane to have over 1,000 kids. How many years did that take you? And how did you manage to get it to that size?
Okay, so total years that I was running the studio was 30.
Whoa, you look so young. Can I say that?
Thank you.
You look beautiful.
I did start when I was young.
Okay.
And it organically started. So it was.
That's like me.
Yeah, and that's really refreshing too. Like
Yeah.
it's nice. I was assisting my studio teacher who was my auntie as well. And one of the kids asked me, or parents asked if I could just give her daughter some extra lessons, and started from there. And she asked if she could bring extra two friends. And so in her garage, and that was my first year, and we did a little concert on their back deck.
Oh,
and so it was actually
that is
14,
so organic.
I know. And we had a barbecue, and
That's
if you look back at the photos now, you'll see that the costuming was completely inappropriate because it was literally just some materials that we found and wrapped around them for little hula skirts.
Yes.
But yeah, so, and then it literally just was word of mouth. Got around the local schools, went to 12 and then 20, then 80. So by the time I'd finished school, my last year of school, I had a business of over 100 kids.
Wow. And how old, can I ask you how old you were when you started your school?
14.
Wow.
Yeah. So 14. So 15 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so young.
Yeah. It wasn't intentional. It just happened.
Organic.
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 And that to me is just the best part, I think.
Yeah.
And everything was, there was no strategy. There was no, which is the opposite of what I teach now.
Yeah.
But there wasn't. It was just all based out of passion and love and just general respect, which is what is still important now.
Yes.
To get back to your question, my husband came on board. I met him at 22.
Yes.
And then he sort of started teetering in the business. And once he came on board, he really helped with the business side of things and started taking it in a new direction. And so then that allowed for the expansion. And I'm going to say about 15 years in.
Yeah.
Between 10 and 15 is when we really maxed that 1,000, over 1,000. It was about.
And is this one campus as well, or is this multiple campuses?
This was multiple. So I had 6 different locations at its peak. And in that time we actually bought our own
premises.
Our own premises at that time as well. So that's how we added an extra 2. I'd also bought another studio. So there was.
Did you do anything else with your life? What did you do?
Well, I did.
That's a lot.
I did. I had my baby. We got married and had babies, and
you managed to do all of that while having over 1,000 kids, raising children, getting married.
Yeah.
I say that's insane, but I say that in the politest way possible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Thank you. Back then, it wasn't the intense pace that life is now.
Okay. Yep.
So, and that's what I say to the younger generation of studio owners. It is different. So, when you're hearing the old people, the older generation,
the experienced,
talking about the way they did things, they should be aware that it's not the same.
It's changed.
It has
It's
changed.
forever changing, isn't it?
100%. Always.
Forever changing. Even just technology, social media, parents, the type of parents that come through too. That's a whole nother conversation. Parenting has changed. We can go into that another day. You're no longer a dance studio owner. You sold your studio. You sold your studio at a good price.
I did.
At a good price. But before that, you paid yourself. And you paid yourself super, which not many studio owners do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I do it at the moment, not gonna lie. I don't pay myself. I feel like I'm the hoarder of money. It just stays in the business account, and in an emergency it will come out. I don't pay myself a wage. What prompted you to sell your studio?
Okay, so I'll take a couple of steps back.
Go for it.
And then at the period when I was working through the business, so at first it was about the kids. I was there, like probably most of us, started because we wanted to share our love, share the passion of dance, and because we had such a beautiful experience growing up with it, we want to share that with others. And I think that for most studio owners is why we start. And so that was it for me. It was the oxygen that I breathed.
Yeah.
And then as the years went on, my focus, so they all got settled and I was really happy with the classes. And then I was at a point where I needed to bring on staff, and then the teachers was coming through. And so then it was at that point I was like ready to start mentoring the teachers. So my passion was sort of changing.
Okay.
Not my passion, my purpose felt like it was changing from the kids to the teachers. And then this whole idea of mentoring them and then training them to do what I was doing in the classroom. I went searching, but there was nothing out there.
Yes.
And so at that point, I'm like, okay, there's nothing out there. Surely I'm not the only one who's feeling this. So I just wrote curriculum. I wrote a teacher training program, which then expanded into an assistant teaching program, because then we had this like line of young dancers who were wanting to teach and stuff. So, and again, back then there was nothing out there.
Nothing.
So wrote that. Went through that period, beautiful. I was, loving the leadership, the resilience that I was creating, and that the teachers were then, transferring onto the kids in the class. And then that almost formed such a solid base and foundation for the studio that it allowed me to step back, because the teachers were trained so well and my staff were trained so well. And so then that organically led me to moving to the studio owners.
Oh, okay.
We started with the studio owners reaching out to me saying, can we just have a coffee? I'm really stuck with this.
I need a chat.
Can we just have a quick chat?
Let's chat.
And absolutely. I'm like, I don't drink coffee. I do drink tea.
What?
I know. I just drink tea. But that just, again, it was just that next shift that was my new purpose. And so that leads us to where we are.
So again, that was pretty organic as well, that happened. You set everything up. You set your studio up. You set your teachers up. And it was just, I don't want to say by fluke, because obviously you were doing something right for your friends to reach out. And then it just organically transitioned.
Yeah, and I think intention is a big thing behind it. So I just don't gatekeep. I'm happy to share. I always believe there is more than enough for everyone.
Yes.
Women are continuing to have babies every single day. Yeah. We have future students every single day being born. So I think to me, it's actually bigger than what we can deliver. I think it's more about what we can give. And getting that connection. Going back to your question about setting up so basically the business was set up so well that it was just running, it was streamlined, and we had simplified. And so that's what then allowed us to scale. And in doing so, I talk about the difference between growth and scale. And growing is that period where you're adding more and getting all the locations and buying new things and adding new programs, where scaling is about optimizing and streamlining what you have. And so then honing in on that, so you're earning more without the extra expenses out.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so, so it was just, I guess, just smart decisions, just being really intentional with how we were running the business. And very blessed to be here.
Aww. You are very good at what you do.
Oh, thank you.
You are very good at what you do, and you're very passionate about helping dance studio owners, like talking to you, obviously, like this, you like what you do.
I love what I do.
Sorry, you love what you do. You love what you do. But there's so many coaches out there now. What makes you different? What makes you unique? You sort of touched on it before about you're very precise.
Yeah, I think having gone through the experience that I have, and I've lived every single day that these studio owners have lived, and I've overcome those challenges, and I've been burned by that parent, and I've laid awake in bed after that email that came through. And we talk about we studio owners just tend to give their heart and soul and everything they're doing. And so as much as we don't want to, we take things personally. When a student leaves, as much as we can say, it's all, they're just going to netball, or it still hurts.
It still hurts.
And I think that's,
and you still think about them too. It's like, it's been 5 years. You flick through the photos and you're like, there's little Susie.
Okay, here's something for you.
Okay,
last night on TikTok.
Yes.
Because TikTok's my downtime.
Yes.
I came across a girl, and I think I taught her when she was 7 or 8, and I'm going to check. I'll contact my mum and check for her last name, because I remember her first name and she looked like it, and there were some details. I'm like, I think I taught you dance. Like,
that's a 360.
Years ago. I know. It's crazy.
I love those 360 moments where you just go, wait, hang on.
Yep.
What else do you do, or what did you do beforehand? Were you a cop? Can we say that? Can we talk about this? Is that okay?
We can, yeah. I was. That was a period in my life. So I had basically started at 14.
Yes. A studio, not a cop. Yep.
Studio. I was still at school, guys. Then once I finished year 12, I had, a couple of years. I had a business that was running. It was churning incredible income because I had no expenses. That's why. And I was a saver. So that's why.
That's like me.
So that side of things was going really well. And I stopped one day and I thought, I'm 19, nearly 20. I've got a lot of life to live, and I want to keep, expanding, because I'm a bit of a prolific self-educator. Like, I just continually loved learning.
Yeah.
And so I started studying, just by correspondence, psychology and communications, because I thought that would be helpful.
Yeah, dealing with dance mums.
Yeah. And then as I was doing that, I thought, I'm really loving this. And then I started just to explore some other options, and I found the police. I thought, I could do the police. I could do that and then still work at the studio. It was never going to give the studio up.
Okay. You never arrested any of your dance parents?
No.
I'm happy
to say no.
That would have been awkward. I know where you were late today.
Absolutely. So at 21, that's when I joined the police, and that's actually where I met my husband. He's also in the job. He still is in the job. So I was there for 13 years, and I spent my last 8 years at child protection and sex crimes, which again really impacted to me what I could offer and give to my studio.
Do you feel like working in that department, do you feel that that also influenced how you ran your studio?
100%. 100%. And there was a lot of things that we do out of just common sense, but there were things that were brought to my attention that I thought, wow, I hadn't really thought of it that way. Or I had, and I lived in a very blessed life, I can't, my eyes were open, let's just say, when I joined the police. But some of these concepts that people were doing, I had no idea. I just wouldn't even think to do that. So, and little things like allowing parents to be able to see if possible.
Yes.
Having that contact, the communication available, those processes of if there's complaints, like how to manage those, seeing red flags and dealing with it before they become an issue. So, again, really huge.
You were a cop and a studio owner of over 1,000 kids, and you got married and you had babies.
Yes. Yep.
Does that sound a little bit crazy?
It does when you say it back.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that bad at the
You're
time.
amazing. I think someone, tell your husband to tell you that more.
Oh, thank you. I will.
This chick on TikTok told me to tell you. No, I could never imagine doing that. Yeah,
thank you.
Hats off to you, most certainly. What have you been working on lately? Is there anything that you can share with us, maybe? There's something new?
Yes. There's always lots happening in my world.
Yeah.
So I am currently, I run a mastermind for dance studio owners.
Oh,
which is quite unique. I don't believe it's being done the way I'm doing it anywhere else in Australia. We do have some studio owners from overseas as well, but all over the state. That is at the moment really filling my cup.
Yes.
But the other thing is I'm actually working on something. It's I don't want to say too much.
Is it top secret?
Well, it's sort of top secret. However, it's in the AI space. And
Ooh,
yeah.
I love AI.
Oh,
I love AI.
mind blowing.
My AI is called Stacey.
Oh,
We named her.
love it. Yep.
Love it. Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's just in the beginning stages. We're in developmental stage at the moment. So, but yeah, that's very exciting.
I want to hear about it. Like, once it's done, I'm going to be the first person just knocking at the door, being like, can you tell me Stacey needs a friend? Is there anything else that you want to tell us about what you do, about your coaching, about your business, about you?
I really encourage everyone to come to ADF.
Oh, 100%.
It's just like a big shake-up happening. It feels like a big shake-up happening this year, and I'm really excited to be part of that. And I think, a lot of people in my community will be excited by that. For people going, be open-minded, have those conversations.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I love about these events, are the conversations. And, it should be a safe space where you should be asking. There'll be some incredible people in that room.
Oh, incredible lineup.
Yeah, and even like between the mentors, they'll be sharing stuff together. And, it really comes down to, and I believe this is something you believe in, is that community over competition.
Oh, 100%.
And that's the secret to growth, like collaboration, growing. But if anyone, just come and have a conversation with me. Just don't let me stand there.
I do. I always like finding you. You're quite pleasant to talk to.
Oh, thank you.
I like you.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you know there's going to be wine?
That's why I'm coming.
Oh, me too.
Wine with bubbles is my favorite.
Bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so excited. And this year, did you know it's called the Teachers VIP Lounge? I like saying that today. Do you know how fancy that sounds?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm there, because we're fancy.
I can be I can be a little bit fancy. We can be fancy.
Yeah.
No, I'm so excited to hear. You're going to talk as well, aren't you?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Okay. You might have to have a think about what you're going to say.
Oh, it's been going through my head. I can't. There's so much.
I
know. So much. But I'll just have to come and see.
Yeah. Even just for fun. Funsies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
We will see you at ADF.
Yeah, sounds good.